Vera, last week you mentioned that you were feeling inadequate about finding a job and about taking care of your family. You even mentioned that you had been having anxiety attacks and that you're still having those nightmares of being strangled. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So how is it to come back today?
It was pretty difficult to come back today. I have been scared and just thinking that he's going to come back at any time and do this all over to us again. And
So tell me how your current living situation is now. How do you feel?
well, I'm always looking over my shoulders when I go to the grocery store. My kids are scared when they go around the corner thinking he might be there and he's going to hurt them again. And, when they go to school, I worry about them. And, me going out looking for a job, I've found some people that will help. But it's just really difficult because I'm always looking over my shoulder thinking he's always going to be there and he's always going to hurt us again.
You mentioned you feel scared. Tell me, how is that feeling?
It's a horrible feeling. I lay in bed at night crying. I'll go around the house. I'll lock all my windows before we go to bed at night. I lock the doors. I go and check on the kids in the middle of the night. I don't sleep well at night. It's a scary feeling. I am really scared that he's going to come back and he's going to do this again.
So let's elaborate on that feeling. Okay, I just want to take a moment to elaborate. You tell me that you're having a lot of anxiety attacks. When you have those attacks, tell me where do you hurt the most? Where?
Well, I would say it's just, I don't know, I go back to the time whenever he hurt me. I mean, like one night he was coming home on a Friday night and he was drunk out of his mind, and I had food in the microwave for him, but he just wasn't happy with that. He came upstairs, I was sleeping, he just yanked me out of bed, dragged me downstairs, threw the plate in my face, told me it was cold, made me remake the dinner for him. It just hurts my heart, knowing that I let this happen, and I let it happen to my kids, and I guess that's what hurts the most. My kids had to go through that too.
All right. You mentioned that you felt like you let that happen. I want to do some role playing, if that's okay. I find role playing to be very therapeutic. I want you to relive that moment, that night. Let's just take that night, for instance, and I want you to relive that moment. And I want you to tell me, kind of as if it was happening right now. I want you to start at that moment in time and tell me you were sleeping, you got aroused, woke up, kind of abruptly.
I had put all the kids to bed. Everybody was sleeping, and I had went to bed. And I probably been sleeping for a couple hours whenever he came in. And I didn't hear him come through the door, but I did hear him stomp up the stairs, and that's what woke me up. And when he came around the door and came into the room, he started yelling, and he started cussing at me. And I didn't know what was going on. I had been sleeping, and I figured, everything was okay. I didn't have a clue what was going on.
Okay. All right. You said you felt like everything was okay. Elaborate on that for a moment, if you would.
Well, I had everything in order. I've been through this before, so I knew what set him off and what didn't set him off. So I've been through all this before, so I knew that he wanted his dinner and he wanted it, waiting for him, so I had it in the microwave, and I knew the house was in order, everything was in its place, and his laundry was done, kids was in bed, everything was in order, all his beer and everything was in the refrigerator, everything. There shouldn't be anything that I thought he would get mad about when he came through the door.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned earlier that you allowed this to happen. Okay.
Right.
And here, but if you remember from our first session, I challenged you that this was going to change your way of thinking. That I feel like if we can change the way you think about a situation, then you can be better equipped to handling the situation. sometimes anxieties and fears come from faulty thinking. And I want you to see here that earlier you said, okay, I allowed this to happen. But in your story and the way that you kind of rehearsed it to me as if it were going on, you did everything that you could. You had everything. You had his beer ready, in the refrigerator. You had the microwave. His food in the microwave, all portioned out. You had it exactly the way you knew that he liked it. So, could there have been anything that you would have done different or could have done different?
No, I guess I could have waited until he got home to fix his dinner, but, he probably would have gotten mad about that. I don't think there was anything else I could have done differently.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, I just want you to see here that, and I want to encourage you to understand that, this here is not anything that you could have or couldn't have done differently. Okay. All right. So let's continue on. Let's continue on. Go ahead and kind of pick up there where you left off.
All right. He came into the room and he was cussing at me and yelling at me and screaming, and he was saying something about his food, and he grabbed my arm. He grabbed it, and he literally forced me down the hallway, down the stairs. I almost fell down the stairs because he was pulling so hard, into the kitchen.
Okay. All right. Now, let's stop right there just for a moment, and I want to encourage you to do something here. We're going to do something a little bit different, okay? And we're going to do some role playing here. I want you to be able to, or I want to encourage you rather, to pretend that he's in the room with us today, okay? And in that moment where he was forcing you down the stairs, I want you to be able to verbalize how you felt at that moment. And I want you to picture him being in the room, and I want you to direct that to him, how you felt when he forced you. He grabbed your arm, how you felt, the pressure in your arm, forcing you down the stairs.
John, you grabbed my arm so hard that it scared me. I thought you were fixing to break my arm because you just scared me. You come in there, you yelling and you cussing, and it scared me. And you grabbed my arm and then you took me out and you drug me down the hall, and I fell down a couple of times, and you almost broke. It felt like you're fixing to break my arm, and I was just scared. I'm scared of you, and I'm scared of you yelling at me, and I'm scared of the way you treat me. And you just frighten me. And every time you're around, I just cry. And I'm just scared.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. I think we've gotten a lot accomplished today. Tell me, and we're going to come to the close of our session here. But tell me, how did it feel to talk about that today?
It felt pretty good, to get it off of my chest and get it off my shoulders. It's like a weight lifted, that someone, is there to listen to me and understand how I feel when I went through that.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give you some homework.
Okay.
Some things to do until our next session. Okay. I want you to start a journal.
Okay.
And every time that you feel inadequate, okay, whether you're going to a job interview or whether you're at home, every time you feel inadequate, I want you to jot that down, and I want you to tell me what caused that inadequacy, okay, and how you feel about that. Or just keep a journal based on that, okay, and then we'll come in next week and we'll kind of talk about that, okay?
Okay. That sounds
All
good.
right. Well, thank you very much, Vera, for coming in, and have a great day.
Well, thank you.